Hi everyone, my name is Jesus Rodriguez from Orinoco Tribune, and we are very honored to have today the chance of interview Camila Escalante. I want to take advantage of his trip to Venezuela, and I want to ask her a few questions. Camila, can you tell us a little bit about how you feel Venezuela in this trip in comparison with your previous, trips to Venezuela?
Yeah, it's been about, let's say, almost 2 years since I've been here. I was here in January of 2020, and there do seem to be the beginning signs of economic recovery, as the government of President Nicolas Maduro has said. There's just more products, more variety in the stores. There are a lot more people who are going out and shopping. The malls were open during, the most difficult times under these sanctions, but more and more we're seeing that people are actually buying things now with dollars in a lot of different businesses, and there's just a greater variety of products, including in the pharmacies and the grocery stores and the malls. Like I said, there are brands and stores that are both unique to Venezuela as well as international brands and stores. And we just saw that it was actually Black Friday here, and President Maduro spoke about this, I believe, this weekend. And it was really interesting because we know Black Friday from the United States, and that after Thanksgiving, people go out and take advantage of sales. Well, that actually happened here. We saw tons of people lining up and down the sidewalks, flooding into malls to make purchases, which means that there is some purchasing power. People do have the ability and are bringing in dollars from one source or another to be able to buy those products. So that was something that really stood out to me. Obviously, some of the key shortages we saw before, which was like, for example, necessary hygiene products are available now, which were, in many cases very difficult to acquire and were absent from shelves in 2017, 2018, and just began to reappear, let's say, in 2020. Apart from that, we see that, we know that there is a fuel shortage, and this is a huge problem. There are very long lines, as is reported everywhere, but despite that, we're stuck in traffic all of the time. This is something really interesting because we're told that it's very difficult to take out your car and drive around, but they're absolutely just, you're just totally stuck in traffic all over the city of Caracas. So despite these difficulties, people are getting gas, they are filling up their tanks, and they're taking their cars out and driving to the places they need to go to.
That's fine. And now that you talk about that, it's important maybe to highlight that some people pay in the gas stations that you pay in dollars, and you don't have to do basically lines there, but that's a minority, of course, and other people have to do the line for the subsidized fuel. That's true. Our own refineries are being reactivated, not as fast as they should be, but yes, they are. I wanted to ask you this last question. How did you see, what was your impression on the 21 of November elections, the regional ones?
Yeah, it was exactly what I had seen reporting on Venezuelan elections from afar. So many different electoral processes, which is that, it's very well organized, very efficient, difficult to spot any irregularities, very peaceful. We know that in general, the media has been unable to pin any sort of, or paint any sort of picture of violence, because it just ceases to exist. This is a country of peace. There are no guarimbas. That sort of insecurity that we see in places like Honduras and El Salvador, even in Guatemala, Colombia, parts of rural Brazil. That doesn't exist here to that same extent. Obviously, there's always going to be issues, especially on the border areas with Colombia. But, this is a country of peace in general, and that was reflected on election day here as well. People went out and they voted for the ruling party, the Chavistas, as well as for the government. People have their differences. We've been told that this country is and has been for a long time quite polarized, but it wasn't reflected at the ballot box outside of those polling stations. And we got the results fairly quickly. I'm no electoral expert or observer, but it's obvious that there were no issues, as was confirmed by the many electoral observer delegations that came from abroad.
Thank you, Camila.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving us a little bit of your time. I want to tell you that we admire you a lot, and we admire the work that you do, and we hope that you keep doing the great work that you always do.
Thank you so much. It's awesome to be here, and I hope to be back soon.